So, we're gonna take a little bit of an interesting intro to this episode because I want to explain how working on cars can be very similar to cooking a steak. Now, cooking a steak at first might be a little bit daunting, but if you prepare the right ways, it could actually be fairly simple and fairly straightforward. The same way that removing my truck bed is going to be today. If we prepare and undo the bolts, undo all the wires, and get some help with some friends that are going to help me lift this thing off, it could be very similar to cooking a steak. So while I sear this steak, let me show you how easy it is to work on cars. Yes.
Wait, right now?
Steak's on. Come on.
3, 2.
Yep, something's going.
You tell me when.
Yep, we are clear. Oh, that's so easy. That steak's gonna be done once we get over there. I think I lifted most of it.
I think I lifted exclusively with my back.
Oh yeah, look at that. Thank you. Oh, that's it.
Oh, you got it.
Thank you.
I've seen you guys, of course.
Now that the steak's done, the bed's off. Chris here is my semi-professional welder, recreational welder, who's gonna help me weld those cracks in the engine cradle and eventually help me weld up the motor mounts when it's time to do that. Enough being said, I'm gonna finish the steak and then prep us for some welding. Work out here.
The what?
Said you're putting in work out here.
Yeah, you know.
In your long sleeves too. So why do you have to cut it so deep?
So if you think about where you'd see like the top side of a weld, like you want the bottom side to be just as big, and so we're just getting it so we'll get good penetration to where the cracks are.
Okay.
And cleaning everything up. So you got like 4, 5 major cracks. This piece, little triangle piece, is ready to fall out basically.
Oh God.
So we'll weld those. Hopefully the welder goes hot enough. Clean them up and then maybe plate it, but it actually might be fine without. We'll see.
It's great to have friends. It's even better to have friends that will work for you for free.
For one bite of steak.
It was more than one bite. More like payback. I've helped you move a lot of furniture and babysat for you. Everybody comment. Thanks, Chris. All right, so what it...
Yes, you do. 6,000 RPMs all day,
I'll get
every
valve
shift.
float on this thing.
You...
So what did we do?
First of all, how come my mic doesn't have a fuzzy on it like yours? We first pulled your wiring harness back. Now we had a couple cracks. We ground them down, welded them up so we get good penetration, cleaned them, and then welded some washers on just to give us some extra strength to it. But should be good to go now. And then did some freshies here. The old rough country lift had grade 5. We swapped out with grade 8. Nylock nuts instead of non.
Yeah.
And yeah, should be good to go.
Nice. All right, so that's it for the day. We'll come back tomorrow, or I'll come back tomorrow. You won't be here.
Signing off.
Thank you. See ya.
Everybody.
Thanks, Chris, for coming in and welding that piece on the cross member. He's actually going to come back in probably a week or two, and we're going to start hammering out the measurements and getting the engine in place to kind of find out where our fabricated engine mounts are going to go. Now we want to make that into a direct bolt-in application, and I would rather not have to weld it to the frame, just so people can potentially come behind me and make something similar, or I design a CAD file or a CNC cutout so you can go and also swap a Mercedes diesel into your pickup truck. I think as of today, we have officially reached the mark in the build where I'm gonna start going through the specific to-dos on what you'll have to do to swap a diesel and to also swap a Mercedes OM606 into your OBS F-150. Now, today on the docket is something that can be accomplished for really anybody that's looking to swap a diesel into these trucks, and that's to swap over the stock fuel pumps in the Ford gas tank to F-250 diesel sending unit. So it's basically a fuel pump just without the pump on it. It just has metal tubes that go down into the fuel tank and read the fuel level and pipe up to the stock fuel lines. So it's pretty dirty as of right now. I'll take some videos just to show you the close-ups. There's a lot of concrete dust and old gravel dust from the place I used to work. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna spray this puppy down with a pressure washer and some soap, and then try and crack into these fuel tanks. Now, I mentioned before that these fuel tanks are full, so I am gonna have to get a couple of fuel jugs, maybe call some friends that want some free gas to take that off my hands. But other than that, I think we're gonna be pretty set to go to start this point in the swap. Now, if you're just joining us, we are swapping a Mercedes OM606 turbo diesel into my 1995 F-150. If you are following along and you are wanting to do a similar swap or do the same exact swap, I am actually documenting this on a blog at www.hankscarsandcoffee.com, where I'm trying to go and break down every single episode. And as of today, we are finally reaching the point in the build where you're gonna start paying attention to the exact things that I do, the exact products that I have to make the same swap happen in your truck. So I'm gonna do my best to capture everything in detail that's gonna make it as easy and straightforward as possible. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now that is way better. I'm genuinely surprised of how little, honestly, there's no deep rust. It's all surface rust. There's a few little nuggets, teeny tiny little nuggets here and there. And I'm gonna obviously take a wire wheel and go over it before we put the bed back on. But look how well that cleaned up. We're gonna try and coat this frame as best we can. I'm not gonna go super overboard with it. Look how well that cleaned up. All right. So there are two things that I'm wanting to focus on here. Number one is pulling out these fuel pumps, okay, and putting the diesel sending units in. Now, it should fit straight in. The front one we might have to alter a little bit, but as far as the hole size for the tanks, it should be the same. Now, this could be an absolute disaster and I could be totally wrong. And in that case, I'm gonna end up modifying the existing pumps. But the other thing, there is an existing inline fuel filter right there that I'm gonna have to take out and put a straight line in because there is a fuel filter already built in to the OM606. Those are the two things I want to take care of. So first, let's dig into these fuel pumps. And these two boxes are the sending units that I have for this build. Like I said before, I'm going to do my best to document every single detail of this. I'm going to show you how to take these old fuel pumps out and put these sending units in. If I have to make any modifications to the sending units for the front tank, I'm going to show you that and exactly how I do it. Every single one of these parts is going to be listed on my blog. I'm going to try and keep it as simple and straightforward and make a list of all these parts. And at the end of this whole build, I'm just going to kind of summarize everything and make a parts list where you can just kind of click and order. But I'm going to start showing you how to take these old fuel pumps out and put these new diesel sending units in. I'm honestly so glad that I took the truck bed off. It's gonna make this way easier. You're dirty. You're dirty. There you go. There you go. Oh, you're like full of mud. Okay, so now that it's undone, find one of these tabs. Here we go. See how much gas we actually have in here. That's how much. Oh boy. Yep, nope, we're not gonna do that. Pause while we go get a gas jug. Okay, on today's episode, we learn how to siphon gas. Had to use the vacuum to get it started, but back to our regularly scheduled program. I just put gas on my boots. I can feel it on my toes. It burns a little bit. Might be on my pants too. Here we are again, doing the exact same thing we were doing 20 minutes ago. Just really vacuum that out. Ta-da! Yep, well, okay, doesn't matter. There is your old fuel filter, and here is your new sending unit. Can you see that? Just like that. There you go. There's one. Now on to the next. All right. Number 2, here we go. This is the one that we might have to modify a little bit to make it work. So if so, I have a little pipe bender that we can use to get that out. So luckily, we had no need currently for making modification on this front tank. Now, when we get this thing running, I will run the front tank dry to see how far it actually goes and to see if the level sensor is actually correct. Honestly, from there, I think we're good. So let's get down there and work on that inline filter, and then I think we'll call it a day. I was wrong. We did hit a snag because the connector is different than what it's supposed to be. Now, it's weird because the back one was the same, so I don't know if I just ordered the wrong one, but I think what I'll do is I'm just gonna rewire the old plug. I'm just gonna assume for now that this yellow and red wire and this brown and red wire are the 2 signal wires for our level sensor. And those will reference the yellow and white wire on the old plug and the gray and red wire on the old plug. So my tape job may be a little bit janky, but we got it mostly together. So let's hook it up and move on to that inline fuel filter. All right, so now that we have this inline fuel filter out, we end up leaving a gap about yay long. Now, because of the stock fuel lines, I didn't want to have to replace a large section, so I figured I'm just going to cut the nubs off of the end of this fuel filter and then splice in some rubber fuel hose. Now, one thing that we're going to have to notice, if I'm splicing in this rubber fuel hose, I do want to have some kind of nub on the end so my hose clamps can actually grab onto it. So I have this little flaring kit, cheap flaring kit I bought off Amazon to get it done, that has a little cutter, the flare, and all the tools that we need. And then we're just gonna take our regular old fuel hose, put it on there with some hose clamps, and then call it a day. So we came back a little while later because some friends came up to pick up most of the gas out of my tanks. We got most of it out, not all of it. I went ahead and ran to AutoZone and picked up some new fuel line to connect, because these little nubs, honestly, I just think were too short. So I got new pieces, cut them to size, flared them a little bit, and then I'm gonna put rubber fuel line to connect them underneath where that fuel filter was. So let's head down there and finish it up for the day. All right, so we are back here with our fuel lines. I'm gonna get you clipped in over there. I'm gonna get you clipped in. Now you should be, oh, that's perfect. All right, I think we're good. I'll just let it dangle for now, but. That was episode 6. So this time we welded the crack in the engine cradle, got the welder sparked up. It looks fantastic thanks to Chris. I'll pop a before and then an after picture on the screen so you can kind of see where it's at. And then today we went through the fuel system in the rear of the truck to get the stock fuel pumps swapped over to Ford F-150 sending units from a diesel. So fingers crossed that will work totally fine. We got the 2 sending units installed. It was plug and play for the rear tank. The front tank I had to splice in the old harness connector. I'm not sure why it had a different connector on it. I need to go back and check and make sure I actually ordered from the right era. I might have accidentally ordered the wrong part, but I just need to double check and make sure. It might just be a normal thing. But I wired in the old plug into the new sending unit. Both of them fit just fine. We will find out later on if that front sending unit is having any issues, and also if it reads a full tank and an empty tank properly. And then we just did this inline fuel filter underneath. We got our own fuel line put in here to basically delete that inline fuel filter. So this will all get filtered up at the head of the injection pump from the Mercedes diesel filter. So for now, that is episode 6. We are going to come back for episode 7 very soon, where we are going to lay out all of our engine components and start installing things on the engine so we can make sure that we don't have any other issues or any missing bolts, and then get ready to actually throw this thing in the engine bay to start fabbing up the motor mounts. So thanks for tuning in to episode 6, and I'll see you next time.